Hello, my dear folks, my dear fellow Angelinos or Americans. Welcome back to the show. When I say back, I mean that for the past few months we did one after another debate regarding the presidential election coming. With me today, we're doing another one, joined by my good friend on my left-hand side. Politically, he's on the left, Mr. Alan Diamante, and a famous immigration attorney from out of downtown Los Angeles, however, handling everything all over California, including myself. Right. On my on my right-hand side, and politically he is on the right. No. Let me correct myself. He declared about the last week, a week ago, that he is no longer staying on the right-hand side. He is now in the middle of the road. However, we do not have a position to sit him in the middle on the table, though. He is on my right, Mr. Ken Hemming, a writer and a philosopher. He is the board member of Pasadena College Foundation.
City College,
so
yes.
To both of you, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you and your viewers
You
more.
like my introduction?
Yes, it's
A little
good.
bit, right?
I'm not sure if it's accurate about.
Right.
am.
I'm still a conservative person, but I'm an independent thinker because of reasons.
All right, very good. Yes, to save time, let me jump on the questions right away. All right. Question number one. Now that we see it is only a game of 4 so far, we can confirm that, and 2 on each side. Are we seeing a clearer picture than before, or are we not? If not, why? So who want to go first? You want to go first, please?
Well, I'll just say that given the delegate count, it looks like it's Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton. Mm-hmm. I don't see that Bernie Sanders, even though he's still in the race, and he's focusing his attention on Indiana, and he says he's going to go all the way through California. I just don't see him being nominated. With respect to Ted Cruz and Donald Trump, Ted Cruz recently announced a running mate.
Yeah.
Which is
Carly.
Fiorina.
Yeah,
Fiorina.
Right. Fiorina. Yeah.
Fiorina, and you know, some people see that as a desperate move on his part because it's not orthodox for a presidential candidate to select.
Sure. We'll touch that part later when we do have a question of that part. And your comment on my first question, please, Ken?
Well, my first comment would be John Kasich would disagree with you because he's still in the race. So there's 5 really.
5 instead of 4.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't know why he's still in, but it's a hope and a dream that Obama promised and didn't deliver as to if it goes to the convention and it's a contested convention and there's 3 or 4 ballots that he might be able to get something after winning 1 state and losing 46. So his performance, I like him, but his performance has been pathetic.
Are you gentlemen aware of the fact that when I say picture, I do not only refer to the numbers of the picture. I'm also talking about the political picture. What is the political picture we're looking at? Are we going left? Are we going right? Are we going nowhere? So your comment?
Yeah, well, I hope we're going back to the Constitution. I hope we're going back to law and order in our country, and I hope we're going back to a stronger military and a more influential presence on planet Earth. And I hope that we get our respect back that we've lost, I think, pretty much around the globe.
Okay. And your comment, Alan, please?
Well, in response to what he just said, sure, we have to support the Constitution, but there's so many things that are not mentioned in the Constitution that we have to consider. For example, health care is not specifically written in the Constitution.
No.
So with respect to what you asked, are we going further to the left? Are we going further to the right? I think the far right is holding dear to maintain the status quo. Obviously, the GOP is having great problems with this. There's a crevice within the GOP, and it's getting bigger every day. With respect to the Democrat side, there seems to be a movement towards the left.
All right, okay.
Seems to be
and also,
dramatically reality.
Yeah, sure. And also, you gentlemen, when I say a picture, I'm still saying the picture about we the people. last time with Ken, you were absent. I'm very sorry for that. I called you, didn't have time. He made a strong point on the definition of we the people. So we the people, being the majority of the country, being the focus of the country, are we being still the focus of the country? Are we still being the focus of what these 4 or 5 candidates could deliver? Do we see that?
I could comment.
Go ahead.
Okay. See, we the people are the individual citizens of the United States of America. It is not the government. The government works for the people, or used to, works for the people and the will of the people. So we're going away from that through government intervention, both sides, everybody, of trying to get more control over liberty of our people. And I think that's the tragedy that we're experiencing.
What I'm asking is that we the people, are we still being the focus of those politicians who are running so far?
I just don't know when the politicians were mainly focused on the people. I mean,
I think
when it comes to rhetoric, it's always about the people. But I think the definition of a politician is mainly somebody who's more interested in themselves and in the people. I've seen very few politicians that after becoming politicians, they pretty much have the same income that they had before they were politicians. So that only tells me that they benefited from being politicians. Whether their constituents benefited is another story.
See, and that's why I don't think we should have any career politicians in Congress or the Senate. Maybe 6 years in Congress or 12 or something in the Senate, because they're in there, they believe they're entitled, and they all come out multimillionaires. Every single one of them does.
That's true. That I agree. Do you?
Well, I think for the most part that's accurate. I think that's something we have a consensus.
Oh, we have a lot
very
of
good.
things
Very
we
good.
agree on.
Thank you for the consensus. And if my first question, gentlemen, are too much in the general, let's be more specific with my second question, shall we please? My second question is, with most of the states' primary over, and it's almost true that it is going to be a race between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, why are they, the second runners on each side are still not quitting, unless you see otherwise?
Well, with respect to the Republican side,
because you mentioned that in the first question also, right?
Right, and I think with respect to the Republican side, there's some hope by Ted Cruz or Kasich that there's going to be a brokered convention, and there might be chances of there being a second and third ballots. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. Obviously, Donald Trump is pushing to say, hey, this is the will of the people. I'm the one getting all the votes. So the GOP should not allow this to happen. Whether this is false hope on Kasich's side or Ted Cruz, I don't know, but it might be false hope. With respect to Bernie Sanders, he said it all along. Not only did he say he was a democratic socialist, which I do believe it was a mistake for him to label himself that, he keeps reiterating the word revolution, that this is a political revolution.
No,
And I think when you get the word socialist with revolution, you're really alienating yourself from a substantial population of the United States.
Hopefully 98%, right?
And that's exactly what Ken mentioned last time, because he believes that the Bernie Sanders are kind of promoting socialism.
Well, he is. He's a socialist. Everything he ran for.
You're saying that what he says, what he did make himself, was kind of by a mistake, by iterating and reiterating again and again on the socialism or socialist word or revolution word, the word only. As a matter of fact, he is not, right?
No. Of course he's a socialist.
He is a socialist.
Of course he is.
I'm saying, hey, he self-labeled himself a democratic socialist. But whether a president is a socialist and doing everything like a socialist is another story. Whether they're social programs, I think you could have Republican president pushing a social program,
which are not a part of socialism. It's a program for within our.
Am I right if I
enterprise.
say this? After all, the power of a president of the United States is so limited. The only power, absolute power, is his veto power. Other than that, everything is subject to Congress.
No.
Right? So, and being for president to be either a socialist or a capitalist or imperialist or whatever, It doesn't mean that much, does it?
It means everything.
Well,
Go ahead.
in the United States, and using the Constitution, we have three branches of government,
Yeah.
and we have checks and balances.
Yeah, checks and balances.
And you know, Congress has its powers, the president has his or her powers, and then you have the judiciary that checks upon whatever the Congress does or whatever the president
oversees
does.
it, yeah. So, in other words, it doesn't matter
Yes, it does.
he is a socialist. or
Yes,
what.
it does.
In what sense? In what sense? By what extent is he?
Every sense. It represents
For
the soul of
example?
America.
For example,
Socialism
what
is
can
not
he
the soul of
impose?
America.
What can a president impose with a socialist ideology?
Well, Obama's letting murderers out of jail by the hundreds of thousands in different kind of criminals, and he has exceeded the power of the presidency with ignoring the law and ignoring Congress in many cases. Hallelujah, we've got 6 months left or whatever of him. And then we have to see, right now all I'm worried about is the future. If liberty is sustained in America, I will be happy. If progressive
Let me
Democrats
ask
take
you, Alan,
over,
one question.
I give
Might
up.
sound stupid. Almost every time when I ask Cam, there's not a single time he doesn't mention the name of President Obama. So why would that happen to people? And what did Obama do really for the truth, for the fact that make it so deep in the minds of, I believe he is not the only one,
I'm
in the
not the
minds of
only one.
people. He must have done something wrong. Anything?
Well, I think first of all, a lot of people blame the economy on Obama.
Economies are getting better.
Well, but the thing is, he wasn't the problem. He didn't cause the
who left the
recession.
problem?
That's
that
just
was
so
something
silly.
that was something from his predecessor. So you're going to have
That's
people
insane.
that are going to dislike the president, especially if they're from the other party. They're always going to criticize the president. I saw it with Democrats doing it against George Bush. And we're seeing it now with the Republicans with Obama. So we were talking about socialism, and you know, and then he mentioned Obama, but I don't know what the connection
But
there
the thing
is.
is that even amongst the
I
Democrats, there are still the voices about, say, similar to what Ken says. I've heard many myself. Why could that happen?
Well,
How come?
The only critics that I've heard on the Democrat side about President Obama has mainly been one, you know, the involvement in the Middle East, that we're still actively there. We still have soldiers there. A lot of people wanted to pull those soldiers out. Guantanamo Bay is still open.
Have you mentioned that?
And,
As it should be.
And that was, you know, people, some Democrats criticized that. And then the immigration. You know, the people wanted him to come up with some solution for the immigration issues. We talked about immigration reform, and while he was a candidate, and it never happened. As far as we have now is an executive order that is under review by the Supreme Court.
All right, okay. My dear audiences, today we're doing another debate between my two dearest friends, Alan Diamante and Ken Hemming. They both are my friends and also friends, supporters to the community. Yet politically, each of them holds a stronghold fort on the left-hand side or right-hand side. Now, no longer these days, probably there's a left or right and are not the right word. They are different views. Okay, put it that way. Let's take a short moment now. Luckily, I have prepared only 10 questions. Only the top two, well, took the whole length of our first segment. I have to hurry up. We'll be right back. Hello, dear audiences. Welcome back to the discussion, better call it debate if you may, between my friend Alan Diamante, immigration attorney at law out of Los Angeles, that covers almost whole California, including myself, I said, and my friend Ken Hemming, famous writer, board member of the foundation of PCC, Ken Hemming. I like his book. His Life is Simple, 100 Words to Live By is my Bible and next to my pillow before my wife gets here. So,
Right.
so far, I mean,
Yeah,
so far,
right.
Good.
Then it's
So,
out the window.
To both of you once again, welcome to the show.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
We got to hurry up, like I said, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, exactly. Get on the second question. No, I mean the third question of the second segment is that I still wish to ask the same old question, almost as old as my mother. That do you still believe that Donald Trump, or will Donald Trump still be nominated? Ken, please.
Well, I think that he has the momentum going, and what it is, it's frustration with what both on the Republican and Democratic side. One very big difference, see, Hillary is the choice of the Democratic Party. That's who they want in there. The GOP, their establishment Republicans, don't want Trump. So Trump's running as a Republican and also fighting the essence of the Republican Party in terms of losing some control because an outsider with his own money is making strong inroads into his trip to candidacy. So I think he'll be, they're going to do everything. The essence of it is, is the Republican Party willing to endure the reaction if he doesn't get it and he's got the votes, because they then can sustain their own power in self-indulgence.
Right, okay,
well,
do you think yes or no he will be nominated?
I hope yes.
Yes. All right. Alan,
I
please.
think yes.
You just mentioned about the right-hand side, the Republican side, about the nomination possibilities, right? How much do you think likely that Donald Trump is going to be nominated, even though with the strong voices going against him, even amongst their own big leaders of the Republican Party?
I don't say it often, but I'll say it again. I agree with part of what Ken said. I agree with the fact that he has the momentum.
Momentum.
However, this is his to lose. In other words, if he says something stupid in the future, it might not work in his favor. So far, the people that support him don't care. There's nothing that he could say that's going to change their minds in supporting him.
Last night I was at a little dinner with a bunch of my friends who like to talk about the politics. They say if on the left-hand side Hillary happens to be the choices of them, on right-hand side Donald Trump is the one available. Does that mean, or does that sound and comment to you?
Well, it just makes me think of a couple things. It looks like Hillary against Donald, but there's a lot of things that we don't know what's going to happen in the near future. We don't know what's going to happen with respect to whether Hillary is going to be indicted for something.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently,
that's exactly what he mentioned last night.
That's what Ken believes is going to happen. We know that Donald Trump is in a lawsuit. We don't know what's going to come out of that. We don't know. Again, I think what is Donald Trump going to say next? Recently, he's talked about he wants to generate relations with the Russian government, and
From a position of power, though, our power.
From a position of power, he did say that,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that means. I don't know how we could strong arm Russia, but I like to see him explain it. He doesn't explain the details, and that's the problem that he has.
To me, he doesn't even understand what he is talking when he mentioned the subject of Russia, because he is lack of lots of homework, to my understanding, and to Cam, and there is something, and maybe to my audience too, there is something very mathematically bothering me. Now, obviously and patently that Democrats do not like Donald Trump, and that's 50%. And among the Republicans, there is a big part, if not 50%, amongst themselves do not pick up Donald Trump as a choice. That's only 25%, right? So now, and how come he still runs a big number on the poll?
because
How come? Mathematically, the word doesn't match. The equation is kind of broken. How come?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. Number one, the people are speaking. And Donald Trump is getting lots of Democrats coming over to the Republican Party and independents. Like in Hillary's deal, you could say, okay, they like her, but like 48% or something vote for Sanders. And you know, so she's got a small little lead in there, which is fine. Trump, the people are speaking. We want America to recover its position as the shining hill on light on the hill.
So he is kind of focuses the people in the middle. That's why, probably. And your comment about the logic of the mathematic thing here.
Well, I'm not a mathematician regarding the statistics. I don't really get it. You know, there's a lot of people that are outspoken against Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Meanwhile, they're getting the majority of the votes.
That's right.
Anyway,
but see, when people get into the voting booth,
if I ask questions from a mathematical point of view, I make a mistake though. Let's do it, say, quote unquote, politically right. From the point, or even for the sake of being politically right though, comparatively, I would say Donald Trump has said something which is considered not politically right. For example, yesterday he used kind of woman card stuff, right?
It's a true statement.
How come people excuse him, not anybody else? If anybody else have said something like that, and he will be bombed or she will be bombed, right?
Well, let's not talk violence.
Kind of like exempted. He's kind of immune. How come that happened as a phenomenon?
I think it's Donald Trump's persona that the population has grown to know. Whether it's really him, we don't really know. It's been effective. That we know by looking at the people that have been voting for him.
It's been effective.
But you know, he talked about Mexicans in a poor way. He's talked about women in a poor way.
Yeah.
And you know, he's done it recently. And he said a lot of other things, specific attacks towards some of the other candidates.
This is not a true statement, really.
And then
Dr. Carson,
we ask if this is presidential conduct, and then whether he's going to change his conduct to become presidential. Talking about Obama, I'm going to say that President Obama has been very presidential, and he might go down in history as one of the great presidents. And time will tell.
Okay, I want to make a comment, okay?
Time will tell.
Your role model, President Obama, okay? He just had two rap artists in there that have, one of the albums has a bunch of black guys on it with knives in the eyes of a cop laying down there, okay? And his ankle bracelet went off in the White House, an ankle bracelet from ordered by a judge. And Beyonce, who he wants to have as a role model for his daughters, she's got a song out there. It says, "I'm going to F that B," and it's all about revenge and just the most disgusting low-life commentary. And those are his role models. And that's why he's not
all right.
respected.
Speaking of role model, obviously
you can
we
check
have
it
somebody
out. Verify.
We have somebody on my left-hand side glorifying President Obama, and on the right-hand side, my friend, well, laying down those kind of facts. I agree one thing. I agree with one thing. Let time tell. Let history tell. For that, we take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue because we have a whole list to finish. We're not even half done yet. All right, stay with us. Hello, my dear fellow Americans. Welcome back to the debate between Mr. Alan Diamante and Ken Hemming about this presidential election, which is, well, almost there. We have only less than 7 months to go, less than 6 months to go, and we are so anxious to see what will happen to us. Some say, hey, I would probably immigrate back to my mother country where I was born if something happens. I'm not that case, but yet, there is a lot of something going on towards that direction. People moving to Canada, people moving downstairs to Mexico. I don't know what will happen. Anyway,
I don't think
something is happening. You are Well, you have never seen. So let's see. Okay, now, my question. Being politically right, though, that's a big issue always in American politics, right?
No.
Even you talk about bathrooms, even you talk
That's
about
true.
lesbians,
That
you
would-
talk about same-sex marriage, you talk about anything, even including abortion, whatever. People are so cautious as if it looks like as if they are walking on ice when they mention any of those. Now, yesterday, Donald Trump, the presidential hopeful, mentioned a big word, two big words, woman cars. Woman card, no S, singular number. And Hillary Clinton gave that a very big welcome, saying that, come on, deal me in, let's play the woman card, right there. And I need your comment about the tit for tat. Your comment about the tit for tat, please.
She's a woman.
All right.
So if she's running, that makes it something that she's running on as being a woman and she's trying to benefit on that. Doesn't make sense. I think what Donald Trump said was, you know, again, another example of him downgrading women.
That's one part. And there's also a comment saying that Donald Trump is doing Hillary Clinton a favor. What he says, he's in favor of Hillary Clinton. So your comment on that part, please?
Well, you know, it's really going to be up to Hillary, and it's going to really be up to Donald to see, you know, whether it's going to favor her or whether it's going to favor him. And you know, I don't agree with this statement. I think it was a ridiculous statement to say. I know a lot of people in his campaign were probably cringing when he said that. But on the other hand, he said so many different things in the past. It does not affect the people that want to support him.
That's exactly what I mean about his persona. And people give him kind of immune. Like he's immune, right?
Yeah.
Okay, your comment on the women card and the response.
I have said on this show that I do not practice political correctness. I only practice the truth. And so when he
constitutional correctness, how about that? Because you
it's
like
not
Constitution so much.
Well, the woman, men has nothing to do with the Constitution. But he's look. It's going to be. I cannot wait to watch Hillary and Trump debate. It will be. It will be.
The
okay.
comment, the
right.
focus
The
comment.
Well, I think there's a lot of truth in the comment.
Card.
The thing is, it was a very inadequate statement because mostly her card is the African American card. She's just trying to pander and get every African American vote, even though their lifestyle has gone down under Obama in her.
She's trying to pander and he isn't. Okay, well, both sides are going to try to get as many votes as they can get.
That's
okay. That we know.
That is
and he mentioned the word pandering, and you know, both sides are going to be pandering, and both sides are going to say things in order to get more votes, whether they're African American, whether they're Hispanic, Asian. They're going to be doing this. Okay. Now, Donald Trump, for some reason, like you said, he's immune to if he's not politically correct, that seems to be something that his constituents like. In terms of being politically correct, and talking, you mentioned the good thing regarding the Constitution. The First Amendment is the Constitution, isn't it?
Freedom of speech.
One I've got in my pocket. It's in there.
Okay,
right. But you had an issue with President Obama associating with rappers that might use bad words in their lyrics. And that he's bowing to them, and that's freedom of speech, is it not? It is.
And you don't have that
It
issue.
is freedom of speech.
Okay, now,
and you don't have
freedom
that
of speech.
issue.
Your comment on that part, please, about still focus on the woman card, please.
Well, no, but anyway, that comment makes me
card,
sad.
please, yeah.
But well, there's so. You talk about immunity, okay? Hillary has been immune to lying to the victims. No, to the family victims on Benghazi. She has immunity from being a serial liar.
I'm the shepherd.
Well, she's got the same immunity, Alan. That's my point.
I am talking about this. Your comment on the woman card.
Oh, yeah. I think it's accurate. Okay, it's pandering to women. That's what she says. I want to lead all women. She's done nothing for women. Okay, but anyway, there's so many more things that I think it's 1% of the whole thing that will be discussed in their debates. It's a very small issue. And he said she'd get 5% of the votes if she was a man. Well, she'd get a lot less votes if she was a man. But the millennials, she's not getting the millennial female votes. She might in the election if she's a candidate. And now they're going to Bernie.
Do we recognize? Let's save time. Do we recognize Donald Trump made a mistake by using that term?
No, I don't. No. He believes it.
I don't think it's going to
It's not going
change
to impact
anything for
anything,
him.
right?
It's
Yeah.
never going to change anything.
There's nothing he can do wrong,
All right.
apparently.
I see.
I mean, I don't know what else he can do
Yeah,
that's going to affect
he's
people from
immune.
voting for
He's,
him.
Well, it's the same, but it's the same thing. Hillary endangers the security of America with a
We
home
will
server
talk
in
about
the toilet.
Hillary.
Okay.
And
nobody
next
cares.
question,
Yeah.
right? Okay, now Hillary, I'm going to ask you first. Does Hillary have a plan? Please.
She's had the same plan that since she met Bill Clinton back in college or whatever it was, and that is to gain as much power and wealth as possible by any
The
means
answer
possible.
is no. She doesn't have a plan to cure the country.
I don't believe
to lead the
I do
country.
not believe she believes in America as I believe in America.
Okay,
I
very
think
good.
she's more self-centered,
yeah,
narcissistic
sure.
than serving the people of
That's
America.
enough for the answer. And does she have a plan, please?
Well, I could be speaking about her plan all day long. But one of the things that in talking about women, she wants to empower women. And she's already mentioned that she wants more parity with respect to salaries for women. Whether she can do this, I don't know. She's already said that she would like to have a cabinet with more women, at least 50% women. Whether she is going to do that, I don't know. But I mean, this is something that we're hearing now. And I think a lot of women are in support of Hillary Clinton for this reason, not because of the card, but because they have hope that this is what she's going to do.
All right, good. Okay. My dear audience, let's take
so
a
sad.
very short moment out. Into the next segment, we're going to touch exactly the bottom line issue because we really want to see some predictions. We're anxious about that. And joining me today are my two wonderful friends. I would have to take some extra time to put stress on the introduction, Mr. Alan Diamante, attorney for immigration out of downtown Los Angeles, Mr. Ken Hemming, a writer, wonderful writer, philosopher, and board member of PCC Foundation. So let's wrap it up. We'll be back right away, please. Hello, my dear audience. Welcome back to the debate between Mr. Alan Diamante and Ken Hemming. Jack Chow is the host on the East-West show with the G&E TV, which pays a lot of attention about the presidential election. 2016, a year of lots of record-breaking, and we have seen, well, with our own eyes, we're the witness, and history will tell our posterity that we really had a wonderful year, at least the starting of the 2016 being wonderful. So with the debate on the presidential election that's coming within the next 6 months, my friend Alan Diamante, attorney at law for immigration, and Mr. Ken Hemming, a wonderful writer, are sharing their thoughts. As a matter of fact, even though they are arguing all the time, they are sharing their thoughts with the audience, with me. For that, I appreciate very much. Okay, question. Okay, now, Ken says that Hillary Clinton doesn't have a plan at all. All she had in mind was the moment as much as she met with Bill Clinton back in college or high school, whatever. And Alan says that he can take almost a whole day talking about Hillary Clinton's plan. Now, regardless of how much plan he has, if you compare the so much plan that Hillary Clinton has and the so much plan Donald Trump has, who has more? Let's put it that way. Because back in kindergarten, people really think that way.
Well, I would just say Hillary's plan is continue eliminating, reducing the liberty and the individual freedom of Americans,
Ken,
and
you always
gaining
try
government.
to get away.
But it's the truth.
To zigzag away from the question. Question is that yes or no, please.
I think her plan has little value.
Who has more?
Well, I think Trump does, of course.
Trump does. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Now, who has more?
I really don't know what Donald Trump's plan is, other than he wants to build a giant wall at the border,
Good
that
start.
he's going to have the Mexicans pay for it, and
I support that.
he's going to do deals with China and Russia that benefit the United States, and if those countries don't like it, he's going to make them hurt with trade. You know, these are the type of things that I've heard on Donald Trump's side.
Okay.
Did you listen to his foreign policy speech
my
yesterday?
audience, let me hurry up a little bit because as to who has more plan, well, there's almost no answer because we do not see any plan as much on either side. Even though Hillary Clinton, to my point, once again, what I say is my personal point of view, right? And we might let that rest for a little bit. Well, let's jump on to the next question, right? Next question is that you mentioned many times already that there is an investigation going on about Hillary Clinton in two senses. Number one, her Clinton Foundation with Bill. Number two, her email handling or processing or kind of a treatment, whatever, the way she treated her email as top secrecy of this country.
That's true.
So, and I want your comment first, please.
Well, all I would say is that I just heard General Petraeus speak for an hour 2 weeks ago, and his life was pretty well destroyed for doing far less than Hillary has done on a regular basis. This is my opinion,
Including
okay? But there's a lot of...
Including the girlfriend part?
Well, you mean Bill's girlfriends?
No, I
Bill
mean,
Clinton's girlfriends?
No, his girlfriend.
Yeah, he had a sweetheart that I think is not honorable because he was married, and probably pillow talk. You know, some things get shared. Okay, and she was writing a book on him, so he made a mistake. But he has been vilified and almost, you know, just wanted to take 1 star away as a general, one of the great Army generals of all time. But anyway, and then Hillary's done these things that I think are 1,000 times more dramatic, which, like, comparing what Hillary's done in throwing out thousands of emails. Wait, and Nixon cut 18 and a half minutes off a tape. There's no comparison in the scope of damage to America.
And to my understanding, to my surprise, it is a country we're talking about. And sweetheart talk over the pillow is okay regarding top secrecy.
No, not okay.
And misfiling or misplacement of emails are not okay.
Intentional deletion.
Your comment, please? I'm confused.
I think the issue with both candidates has to do with transparency. I mean, whether someone's committed a crime, I don't know. We don't know yet. It's being investigated, okay? But it's an issue of transparency, whether she's being transparent, whether she revealed all the emails when she was asked to do that. And then Donald Trump, is he being transparent? He doesn't want to give us his taxes, doesn't want to show us his taxes, notwithstanding the fact that other candidates have revealed their taxes. And he's also being sued. And when he's asked about the litigation, and this has to do with the Trump University and people paying huge tuitions
not huge.
to get something out of a university and not getting anything back. Donald Trump, what did he know about it? How he was involved, whether there was fraud. This is an actual litigation going on right now, and you know, he's going to be deposed.
Okay. It's very minor litigation.
Suppose the investigation either about Donald Trump or about Hillary Clinton is going to happen, right? What will happen if any of them indicted?
Well, Donald Trump will be indicted. He might have to pay money if something happens.
Just assume.
Yeah. Well, I can't assume indictment.
First, let's say what will happen if Hillary Clinton is being indicted?
Well, then I'll tell you what will happen. I think she should be indicted. I don't know whether she will be indicted. And if she is indicted, Obama will break every potential law in the world to get her off. That's what will happen. The system will deny the truth of the indictment.
So you heard his comment, and your comment about
I heard his comment.
Please.
You know, if we look at what previous presidents have done and given people pardons that were involved in violating the law during their
like Bill Clinton, his last day.
Just like what President Bush did as well.
Bill Clinton.
So this is what presidents have been doing, on both sides. And you know, whether this could happen, I don't know. You know, I don't even know if she's going to be indicted.
So. If
if
she was indicted, what do we have? Do they have a plan B?
This I don't know.
Biden or
Nobody knows.
who's the other? Yeah, Biden or.
No,
Oh,
Biden.
is that the question? If there's a plan B for a candidate?
Yeah. What will happen? Yeah.
Yeah,
Plan B.
well,
Biden and there's another
they
one.
would have to do a plan B.
Right.
No plan
And
B.
whether this could be Bernie, whether this could be Biden, whether this could be somebody else.
Wouldn't be Bernie.
I would assume there would be a plan B, but
Yeah.
whether they even gone that far, I'm not even sure she's going to get indicted, and I'm not sure if anybody believes that she's going
Okay,
to get
if Donald
indicted.
Trump was indicted because of his tax, because whatever, and because
You don't
his,
get indicted for tax, So go ahead.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, but if he look, well, if he was indicted, then everybody in the world, the media, and Obama and his fellow radicals would do everything to try to destroy him and demean him. But he's man enough to take it, just like I am. It doesn't, he takes whatever flack is thrown his way. But they would do everything to
I'm
do
not
it.
sure about that. He seems to be very sensitive,
All
and he
right.
lashes out as soon as he's attacked.
Let's, my dear audience, we're going over time almost, so let's do a child play, okay?
Yes, sir.
How about that? I know it is still premature, especially with the situation going so mystifying, and it's even more premature to predict. Yet my audience is that, especially my friends who come across, say, hey, and we believe that you know more about American politics. As a matter of fact, I know nothing about it, right? So, for the sake of just entertain, it's a moment of entertaining.
Yes, sir.
So, to entertain our audiences, I would like to call for some predictions. Great. Who do you predict the next president will be?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. And who do you predict next president will be?
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton.
What a shock. Shocking answers. But we may both be wrong.
Should I say Jack Chow or what?
Yeah, we would both be wrong.
I would vote for
I
you.
wasn't born here. That's a problem.
Well, you're moving
If
from
I
the country
were,
anyway.
I would have. I would do that.
Yeah.
Okay, my dear audience, today we surely have had some good time, even though most of the time there is a disagreement, even argument between these two wonderful brains. My good friend Alan Brown, the left-hand side.
Alan Brown?
Not Alan Brown. Once
What
again,
is- oh,
Alan
is Alan
Diamante.
Brown?
It's okay.
He died.
No cut. Keep it there. Keep it there. No cut, producer, please.
Yeah.
The Alan Diamante, my famous attorney-in-law. You know what? The case of Brown, or Michael Brown, is buried in my mind so deep. I can't exhume it. I
didn't do it. I didn't do it.
He's buried
Yeah, sure.
deeper.
All right, very good. And my good friend Ken Hamming, and thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing
you,
your
Alan.
thoughts.
Love
and
you, man.
thank you for fighting, and thank you for strengthening
Thank you.
each other.
We never fight.
And that's the name of the politics, and that's the name of democracy. And I, Jack Chow, enjoy every minute of it. I believe you too, my dear audiences, will arrange within a month or something, towards the end of May, another debate, just to try to be 1 week before the California primary. We'll see how things will develop. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're the best,
All right,
Jack.
good friend.